Hi, it's Timo. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. I hope you're doing well. Almost the biggest upset in the Premier League for some seasons. Probably the biggest upset since Norwich City beat Man City a couple of years ago. And you know, in a Premier League season which becomes more and more tedious as the big teams get better and better with the explosive amount of money, these are the days where you're just praying Norwich City get the rub of the green for the whole 90 minutes. But unfortunately, that wasn't to be. Liverpool won 3-1 and that kind of horrible record against the top six teams goes on. But Norwich City played really well. But unfortunately, a real poor 5 minutes from Norwich cost them the game. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. But when you're playing up against these big teams and football's becoming more and more tedious for the smaller teams, you know, you just want that rub of the green for the full 90 minutes. So that was disappointing. Goals from Liverpool from Sadio Mane, an excellent goal from Salah, and Diaz getting a goal as well. But before that, a wonderful strike from Rashica, taking a deflection. Yes, fair enough, but still a great strike from him. But as I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on the game. But overall, as a Norwich City fan, this is a crushing and a massive blow. A few weeks ago, we just got back-to-back wins against Watford and Everton, and things were looking really up. You know, all our players back. And then a few weeks later, Norwich City find themselves from 17th to bottom of the table, 6 points away from safety. And all that hard work Norwich City put in a few weeks ago, it seems Norwich City are back at the bottom again, quite literally, which is really disappointing because we've seen some real promising signs over the last few weeks. But with you know, Adam Ida's injury and of course the better, you know, the teams around us getting better. Newcastle have just gone an explosive run of form, and I can't see them getting relegated. Burnley have got about 1 million games in hand, it seems. I think they've got 3 games in hand, actually. They've leapfrogged us now in the table, and Watford getting a win against Aston Villa. Aston Villa have done Norwich no favours in the last couple of games. So with all that and Norwich City being bottom, it does feel like a real crushing blow. And Norwich have to pick themselves up again, and, you know, these next games are critical because they've put in a good performance, particularly for the first hour against Liverpool. But with Southampton and Brentford coming up, Norwich City just have to pick up those points because it becomes more and more desperate with each passing week. But plenty of positives to take from this game. But yeah, just looking at that table, a real crushing last half an hour for Norwich. And, you know, looking at the team, we look at Dean Smith. I think Dean Smith's an excellent manager, someone who's tactically brilliant, certainly in the Premier League. We've got some real star players. Rashica, it's been an absolute joy to watch him play. Norman's come in and helped us improve. And overall, you look at a lot of those Norwich City positions and think we are, you know, getting better, and we've got some real talented players. But unfortunately, the recruitment across the board has not been good enough from Stuart Webber. And when you're bringing on players like Pochetta with half an hour to go, there's only so much Dean Smith can go. And also when you consider that in that treacherous December month, we had Rashica injured, Norman injured, and a few COVID cases. But you really see just how depleted our squad was in terms of quality. But that's a broader picture. I mean, looking at the performance today, there was lots of positives to take. It's really nice to see that midfield three of Gilmour, Norman and Kenny McLean, who I thought all played really well, particularly again in that first hour. Kenny McLean's area ability in the first half really got us up the pitch, and we created some good opportunities. Norwich City trying to take advantage of Liverpool's very high line, and Rashica put the ball in the back of the net after 3 minutes, who yet again has been absolutely outstanding in the last few weeks. And we created a good opportunity in the first 15 minutes when Teemu Pukki was sent through 1-on-1, but his shot went wide. And Pukki still scored 6 Premier League goals, which is decent, but the recruitment yet again in that top area has not been good enough. We all had that brilliant moment with Josh Sargent, of course, against Watford, but fundamentally, you look at Watford and their goal-scoring threats, Burnley, Newcastle now, just the quality up front has not been there because of the lack of recruitment in that area. But Norwich defended well in that first half. Liverpool had 70% of the ball and passed between the lines well. I think they was probably a little bit slow when they got to the byline with Joe Gomez coming in for Trent, who hasn't quite got that, you know, quality, whipping the balls across, and Tsimikas as well. So I think Liverpool struggled in that final third, but Norwich defended really well. Salah had a couple of good chances, and Liverpool's best opportunity came when Norman cleared the ball off the line. But it was a Norwich City performance which they defended valiantly and actually created some good opportunities, primarily through that pace of Rashica. And going into the second half, there was optimism, and of course, what an incredible start to that second half. I mean, looking at the Liverpool team, they made quite a few changes, but it was still a top quality Liverpool team. Virgil van Dijk hasn't lost a Premier League game in 4 years at Anfield, which is just bonkers. Mo Salah, of course, is the best player in the world at the moment. And despite Jota and Firmino injuries, it's still a world-class team, you know. But Norwich City needed a little bit of luck and they got it. Milot Rashica, always so positive on the ball, has a long-range strike 20 yards out, takes a deflection off Joel Matip, I think. Wrong foots Alisson and goes in the back of the net. An incredible moment, and Norwich City take the lead. And as the table showed, there were some real positives, and then it was just all about Norwich City hanging on. And it always feels like when you play against these top teams, you almost want your team to score in the last 5 minutes, because you know Liverpool are going to really kick on, and it's incredibly hard to defend for such a large portion of the game. I thought Grant Hanley made some monumental tackles, but as I say, a terrible few moments of defending from Norwich, where Tsimikas has a free touch in the area, heads it across, and Sadio Mane scores from 12 yards out from a bicycle kick. But the real terrible one for me is as Liverpool equalise, Alisson has the ball, a long kick upfield, Kenny McLean loses Mo Salah, and Mo Salah's in on goal, and then it's just quality for Mo Salah, but such a preventable goal for 2 reasons. One, Mo Salah is, as a Norwich City backline, we're so high up the pitch, and it just allows Mo Salah an easy run and goal. The defence needs to drop 10-15 yards there, and still we have to put a tackle on him, and to have Grant Hanley and Kenny McLean on the line, and for Mo Salah still to, albeit through great individual play, to score is disappointing. But Norwich City still try. We're still getting players in the box. Brandon Williams again, bursting a gut. So that effort and endeavour was still there, but Liverpool have so much quality, and you can't afford to give away silly goals like that. And Diaz, I think, scores his first Liverpool goal with 10 minutes to go, where some more poor defending from Norwich. So there's positives to take in that first hour, and Norwich City defended valiantly, but it's just so difficult. But in terms of perspective, as I said, Virgil van Dijk hasn't lost a Premier League game in 4 years. You've got Mo Salah, who's in scintillating form, so it's always going to be a difficult ask. But when you get that goal and you're half an hour to go, you're just crying out for better defending and just doing the basics, which unfortunately we couldn't do throughout the whole of the game. Bringing on subs as well. I think if I was Dean Smith, I would have brought on maybe someone like Giannoulis earlier for Josh Sargent, who's just looks devoid of energy, bless him. But Giannoulis, who we bought for 7 million, and Zolis, who can't even get on the bench. I mean, why didn't we loan him out? Why isn't he playing? There's so many questions to be asked there, and considering that's a signing who we spent a record amount on, disappointing not to see him play. Rashica, Norman have been great signings. Brandon Williams put in another good performance, but despite having some real good stars and some good individual moments of quality from that recruitment, it is still a squad which still, as we've seen from a few injuries, can look from a team who can compete in the Premier League to a team who look devoid or look hopeless in it. So it's important we keep those players fit, and coming up against these next 2 teams, Southampton and particularly Brentford, have to win, because the teams around us are picking up points and improving, and unfortunately Norwich have slipped back into them former selves in the table in the last few weeks. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Spirited performance from Norwich, first Norwich City goal for Milot Rashica, but unfortunately a kind of really poor 5 minutes cost Norwich, with Sadio Mane, Mo Salah scoring, and then Diaz put the finishing touches on what was a day that started so well for Norwich, but it finished in a disappointing manner. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new to Norwich City Central, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching.